Hey everybody, it's Melissa again, and since the weather is warming up outside, that means that we're going to start using our grill a lot more often and get ready for summer. Today I'm going to show you a recipe for my spice rubbed pork tenderloin that's topped with a creamy cilantro walnut pesto sauce. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is season up this beautiful pork tenderloin that I have. It's about 1 pound, and my rub is simply 1 tablespoon of paprika, a teaspoon of chili powder, a half teaspoon of cumin, and a teaspoon of salt. So we're just going to mix all that up nicely. Okay. Make sure our spice sticks nicely to the tenderloin here. I'm just going to drizzle it with a little olive oil. Got going on both sides. All right. And start sprinkling over this rub. Be generous with it. Use your hands. It's going to get a little bit messy, but it's going to look really nice. Okay, and that is as simple as it's going to get, really. Now it's ready to go to the grill. So we've got our pork tenderloin on the grill, and we want to cook this to about 145 degrees. It's going to probably take about 20 minutes. So about halfway through, we're going to come out, and you just want to flip it so you get that nice, even cooking and color on both sides. So while our pork tenderloin is grilling up nicely outside, we're going to go ahead and get started on our cilantro walnut pesto. And what we're going to do basically is, again, with one of my favorite kitchen gadgets, my food processor. I've got 1 bunch of cilantro that I'm just breaking up. Going to put on in here. Got half a cup of toasted walnuts. 2 nice cloves of garlic. Got a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. All right. And the juice from 1 fresh lemon. And then we're going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt. Okay. Just going to process this up to get it started, and then once it starts to break down a little bit, we're going to slowly drizzle in a half a cup of olive oil, and it's as easy as that. Just get a spoon real quick, get those sides down. Give it 1 last pulse. Okay, and it's done. And I'm having technical difficulties. There we go. Okay. Cooking live. All right, so let's come over here. We're taking this beautiful pesto that we've just made, and we're going to make it into a creamy pesto sauce. So what I've got going on in the pan over here is a basic bechamel or cream sauce. So it's just a little bit of flour and butter that I've cooked together, and I've added about 3/4 cups of cup of half and half. And now we're going to put in the cheesy, creamy Philadelphia cream cheese. So we're just going to stir that in, get it all nice and melted. Now, this is a different take on, traditional pestos. I've found that you can really get creative with them. Our traditional pesto is made with basil and pine nuts and olive oil and usually Parmesan cheese. So you'll notice that when I made the cilantro walnut pesto, I didn't put any cheese in it because in this particular recipe, we're going to use the Philadelphia cream cheese to give it that creamy, cheesy flavor. And you'll see that once we get this cheese incorporated and we're going to add in our pesto, it's just going to be a really pretty green sauce that's going to go on top of that pork tenderloin. Very nice. I'll get to this dish in just 1 second. You guys are probably wondering what is going on with all that boiling. Okay. So we've pretty much got our cream cheese melted in. Now we're going to add about half. This makes about a cup. So you're going to have a little bit left over, and you can always serve it over some pasta with chicken. It's really good, or use it as a spread for a sandwich. But we're going to add about half of it to that cream sauce. You can see already it's just starting to incorporate, giving it a nice shade of green. Okay, and the sauce is as easy as that, and it's done. Just going to set it aside until we're ready to plate up our pork. Okay, I like to serve the pork tenderloin with what I like to call my Spanish-style quinoa. And if you're not familiar with quinoa, it is a grain. It's used a lot in South American cooking. I'm going to try to see if the camera can get close enough to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. But you cook it just like you would rice, really, and you can season it up. I call this Spanish style. I have about 2 cups of chicken broth and 1 cup of quinoa that I've brought to a boil. Bring it back to a boil. To that, I'm going to stir in a tablespoon of tomato paste, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now, if you haven't tried smoked paprika, it is really, really good, and it gives a really unique flavor to this dish. And we'll finish it up by adding, I like to have a little bit of crunch or texture to the dish. So what we're going to finish it up with is add just 1 cup of defrosted frozen kernels of corn, right as this is done. Okay. So there we are. We're good to go. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. I think our pork tenderloin is done. Let's go ahead and take a look. Ah, beautiful. Who says women can't cook on the grill? I'm the grill master. Okay, let's get this one off and take it back inside, and I will show you how to finish this up. All right, so our Spanish-style quinoa is already done. You can see that once it cooks up, really nice and fluffy. The smell from that smoked paprika is so good. I'm going to go ahead and stir in our corn kernels. And it's as easy as that. So we are ready to plate. All right, I've got my pork tenderloin that I've actually taken off the grill, let it rest for about 8 to 10 minutes. And I'll show you how I like to serve this. I'm going to slice it on the diagonal. We are just going to create a bed with this quinoa. Okay. Place our slices of pork tenderloin. Tenderloin is just cooked perfectly. Like that. And finally, last but not least, we're going to top it off with a dollop, nice healthy dollop, of this creamy cilantro walnut pesto sauce that we've made with this Philadelphia cream cheese. Got a little sprig of cilantro to top it off, finish it with. And there you have it. Beautiful grilled pork tenderloin with creamy cilantro walnut pesto. So get to grilling, ladies.